Private aviation has always been a relationship business. For years, it's been shaped by people who learned it the hard way, deal by deal, aircraft by aircraft. Over time, we started seeing new generations step in, people asking better questions, building better processes, and taking this industry seriously from day one. And that's what the Jet Podcast is all about. Presented to you by IABI, this podcast opened the doors to private aviation, aircraft brokerage, the people, the past, and the experience behind how this business really works. Caleb, welcome to the Jet Podcast, brother. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you, Iyad, for having me.
Of course, brother. It's been a while. We've been working together, and actually, this is the first time we meet in person. It's great to have you, bro.
Yes.
Yeah. So you're. I understand you're coming back to Dubai right now. For you guys have an office here.
Yes. I just came in. It will be end of last year. Just towards. It was F1 then. I came from F1, so I've not gone back to Africa since then. However, we chose to start up the UAE office.
Nice.
To complement our African office. That ends why I'm still around.
Beautiful, man. That's great to have access between, Africa and UAE. So, Caleb, brother, tell us a little bit more about how you got into private aviation.
It's an interesting one for me.
Okay.
Because from the get-go, I've been an aviator. I've always been in aviation since 2011. I work with commercial airlines as a flight dispatcher.
Nice.
And I've been in operations. Then I pivoted into cargo operations, where I was handling cargo aircraft, MD-11s, 777s. Will come into Nigeria then with the airline, with the cargo operator I was working with. Then 2021 to be precise, January, just 5 years ago.
Okay.
I came into Dubai and I pivoted. I don't know, because a lot of requests comes in, and I've been an aviation guy myself. I didn't want to just throw away requests. So hence, I would say I'm self-taught. Yes, self-taught.
Nice.
Yes, self-taught. Hence, I work with, initially I was working with people like, I was working with major brokers here initially. Then hence, I understand how the game works.
Right.
Worked with a particular operator. And then it was pretty much maybe small for me in the initially, few requests. Once 3 months, once 5 months. But here we are. We've metamorphosed from just me into where we call it a huge company now.
Wow.
One in Lagos, one based in Lagos, Nigeria. Jet Connect 247 based in Lagos, Nigeria. And here also, we started here officially now. This is the second month. Yeah.
Well done, brother. I mean, guys, we're becoming international. We have from Africa our guest, Caleb. So, Caleb, tell us a little bit more about what's your role? How would you describe your role now in private aviation?
Okay, my role is simple. From the years I've clocked, I could call myself specialist from the year I've clocked in aviation. So, when it comes to private aviation, my role is simple. There are a lot of, I will call them, not just requests, problems to be solved.
Of course.
So it's just, in a simple time, just bring solutions to those problems, whereby, critical missions or just, I would say, health requests.
Yeah.
Or majorly those tools, I bring solutions to them. Just pretty much that for me.
Okay.
Yeah, providing solutions.
That's what we are.
Yeah, yes, that is it.
We are a solution provider for our clients. Whatever you want, we always have a solution. So it's interesting because for me, to be honest with you, I'm not very familiar with the African market. As much as I try, of course, I always try to learn and explore more, but I always use your support. I have some other partners that I work with. Okay. Tell us a little bit more. How is the market in Africa? How do you navigate between operators, brokers, trip requests, finding aircrafts?
Africa itself, it's a bit trickish, when you mention Africa, people will be like, oh, Africa. But Africa is simple. Africa is straightforward. However, you have to understand the market because it's just like any other markets, like Europe, it's like here in the Middle East. The operators are there. They are good operators. And the other one at the left, just like over here in the Middle East.
Right.
However, for somebody that is experienced, that knows these operators, you'll be able to go directly with them. They are, I would say, not tons, because it's not like America or Europe.
Right.
But there are like hundreds of them that are ready to help, either for private aviation, private jets, air ambulance, or even cargo or commercial also. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, beautiful. I mean, your client is lucky because you have operations experience, you have brokerage experience. And a lot of brokers, and this is what I see because I come from operation background.
Interesting.
A lot of brokers don't know much about operation, and they come with different questions that doesn't make sense, to be honest with you, sometimes. And you have to explain it to them. So congrats for your clients for that.
Yes. It's part of the add-ons they get, our clients. Not just we don't just get requests and book the charter and wait for the flight to happen. It doesn't happen. There are hundreds of they call it behind the scenes that happen before the aircraft actually take off.
Right.
So for our clients, we tend to understand. We tend to work from the initial request. When we put it out to the operator, we understand which aircraft is fit.
Right.
Then we move on to, okay, if the client agrees, then we'll move on to the work in detail, which is understanding the weather. Can this flight happen depending on where they go? Some things that get trickish, unlike the private jet, the helicopter charter, we know that is really weather sensitive.
Right.
Really weather sensitive. So we tend to put in our operations know-how, work with the operator on it.
Yep.
We don't monitor everything they do, but we try and cut through the BS. Yes.
Well done.
Because at times, payment has been made, operator is there. Why, what's going on? Why, the client is calling us, we've paid, it's the day of operation, what's happening? And the operator is just there, maybe they've gone to do another flight, and we weren't brief, but we understand what's going on. All those things, we take care of that. We make sure the client doesn't carry all those stress. They're already stressed on the kind of meeting they are going on whatever they are going to do there on their trip. So we take all those things off them, and with our operational know-how, we put all those things on ground, and at the end, we get feedbacks like, "Oh, that was smooth, that was great, that was fantastic, that's the best flight I had so far." Like, really, But it's what we've done behind the scenes that ends we get that result.
I believe this is the best way to retain your clients because, as you said, they have their own stress. Like they have, for example, a political meeting that they're trying to focus, they're trying to be relaxed so they can actually produce in those meetings. And in these flights, anything could happen in any flight. As a broker, this is where you come in and you show them that you're actually reliable, you're there to support, you're available, and you're actually knowledgeable to support them. Going back to, I have a question for you. So
go ahead.
What do you think a common mistake brokers do in private jet charters?
That will be common mistake will be just saying a normal request for me from my own experience so far. Trying just to sell a flight.
Right.
It's just a common mistake. There are so many requests that are just beyond selling a flight. For instance, I'll give you an example. I got a request for a medic charter. And it's a bit tricky on its own. It's a medical, air ambulance. We have to pick up these clients' father. He's going already. He's he's gonna pass out. It's aged though,
right?
So about 80 plus. So when I got the request, I had to all those kind of things. I have to ask initially. Okay, how old is he? What is the condition? Because those are the questions that the operators will ask also, aside the documentations and all, to understand how to best care for them. So, getting this request, I didn't just treat it as a normal request, like a sales request. Like, let me get them the aircraft, let them pay. Right. I had to, understand the predicament, because it has happened before.
Of course.
Just not to me, but to somebody around me. We booked the flight and the person passed away. So it was,
Very
and
emotional.
they didn't even take off.
Yeah. Very.
So this was gonna happen. Actually, this was gonna happen, and this particular day, I didn't enforce the flight on this our client. I didn't enforce, even though it was a new client. It was recommended. I didn't enforce. I didn't say okay, go. But once we briefed the operator and we checked the critical condition, we know it was a no fly.
Wow.
And within 24 hours, guess what happened? He passed.
He passed away.
We could leverage on our on the referrer and get him to book, and you get him to pay, and he's not gonna get his money in full or something just to make money.
Right.
So what I'm trying to say in essence is, trying to really be a solution. Try to for us, and that is what I can. That's my own personal value. Trying to really be helpful. Not just sales oriented, not just money as we put it every time, not just booking. So that is it. For me, it's more of relationship.
True.
And the good news is, yes, this gentleman passed away, but the relationship was there. This is a new client, like I told you, it was supposed to be a new client based on that flight, but we have been able to do 230 flights for him.
Wow.
For him.
Yeah.
Even though we were not able to make sales on his father with his father's request. No. Yeah. So that is it.
Actually, I was the other day, these Medevac situations, it's always stressful, and at the same time it's emotional because we're feeling with the client. Again, it's not just sales. Your father is like my father. If your father is sick, it's kind of like my father, and we need to help out. And I was on LinkedIn and I saw one of my friends, and he shared a screenshot of a message. My father passed away. And in the text, in the LinkedIn, he was talking. He was like, "Yeah, we were working on this Medevac flight. We finally found an option that will take his father immediately. While working on the paperwork, he received that message from the son or from the client." And when I was reading that message, I got goosebumps because I was like, that's a situation you don't want to be in,
As in, for me that day, all this kind of requests, you don't want to say no because it's a test.
Right.
It's a test. I don't know. For me, every request that comes is a test. I want to pass.
Right.
So intuition that day, I would say intuition. I got the operator. We were talking. This is how much and all, but I was like, yes, you guys have money. You want to move in. But I don't know. Maybe because it has happened before.
Right. So you want to be more more precise, more
exactly.
It
has happened exactly. And it was less than 24 hours, believe me.
Wow.
It was less than 24 hours. The money was not paid yet, so
God bless, at least
so it was just until now we're still doing business, which is the good side.
Yes.
Because the last one was really rough. It was really rough because they had to pour out their frustration somewhere, which is on the company.
Right.
I was working with them, so it was really bad. Well, we get out of it.
Oh, there you go. I mean, it's part of the business. Another part of the business, AOG situations.
Okay.
Yeah, we live for it. I mean, we go through it. It happens out of nowhere. How do you deal with AOG situation?
Pretty simple for me. Backups.
Okay, well done.
Backups of backups. That is it. That is it. Whenever I get a request, you start from the beginning of the request. Whenever I get a request, there's a first option, there's a second option, of course the third option. I don't throw it all out. I shoot the best of the best.
Okay.
We go with that. In the event, operator calls you because either the owner did not approve, even though it's not an AOG. You understand?
Right. It's same thing.
Same thing. Or if it's a mechanical fault this time around, then that's where the backup comes in.
Okay.
It comes in, and we don't just we presume all this ahead. We work with it, and whenever it happens, we are so fast about it.
Nice.
Because that is why they are there. For instance, I've got the examples. I don't know.
Of course, yes.
I've got the example. This request came in as the client was gonna book a business class. They were going, and they couldn't go. with the luggage and everything they were planning to go on. They already booked first class, and I think it's business class. Yeah, not first class. So they couldn't go. So they reached out, hence the big money for private jets.
Okay.
And they booked the private jets again. It happened. AOG.
No.
So I was trying to be, the good guy.
Right.
And here we are. But thanks to backup, thanks for the second option. They were already, whenever I'm doing the booking, whenever we're doing the booking, we are always like, we know how they align on the mission. So we don't just tell the operators to stand down, or we know, because until it's done, it's not done.
Of course.
So hence, when it happened, I was able to fall back on the second one. Better aircraft also. We just called it an upgrade. And the flight happened. No stress. No, I'm here and it happened. No, we saved the day. Which is why, I said it earlier, providing solution. There are times it go haywire, nature and everything. But we're trying our best to, the 99%, which is for us, we put in our best. The remaining 1%, which is for God,
that's it.
We let it happen.
He did what he can do.
Yes.
But honestly, brother, yes, this is what differentiates between competent and incompetent brokers. And as a client, you're the one who's choosing. It's up to you. But at the end of the day, as you said, we bring solutions. It's not a lot of brokers, when they have AOG situation, they panic. They start making things even go worse instead of actually being proactive and solving the solution. Yeah,
I think it's the operations background.
There you go.
You from as an operator, you should understand. There's every scenario you've played. The operations guys have played on ground. What's gonna happen? You have to. While I was working with the commercial operator, then, you leave about 150 passenger left stranded. What are you gonna do? So there has to be backup. So the operation intuition just comes in from so you just want to make it happen.
Well done. Yeah, especially, man, with operations, we deal with every aspect. So we deal with the captains, with the crew, we deal with the aircraft, we deal with the mechanics, we deal with the ground handling, we deal with the permits, so many aspects. One of them goes wrong, and then now we have an issue here. I remember one of the worst things that we had, like we had the flight attendant, she called in sick. We had a backup flight attendant. She didn't have the right visa, and it's like it's always something.
Man,
it's always something. But yeah, well done. So a question for you: what was the most stressful AOG situation, or the last AOG situation? How did you handle it, and what was it, and how did you handle it?
The stressful one is gonna be and there was I think I remember. The stressful one was the one that I think it skipped my mind. It skipped my mind.
Yeah?
It's the last one.
Okay.
It didn't happen, actually. It didn't happen, yeah. It was the last one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what was the situation? What was the issue with the aircraft? How did you handle the client in that situation?
Like I said earlier, it was most of the owner didn't approve. He had the flight to happen. That should happen just same like few hours from the time that our flight should depart, and this operator won't let go. We've paid. We've paid, yes. Of course.
So you paid contract, and then the owner approval did not come through?
Yeah, it didn't come through. It didn't come through, and it was messy. However, we made it happen because the client already paid. Like I said, there's backup.
Right.
We make it happen and settle with the operator later. Of course, the operator is not somebody that can run away or something.
Right.
So we made it happen with the other backup, and it happened. But it was messy because we've paid, you gave us everything's out, catering and everything, and you said it's not gonna happen. It was a crazy moment. But one beautiful thing is the client wasn't aware of all this. No.
Well done.
Wasn't aware of all this.
You're scrambling. You're fighting over there on the phone. The client thinks everything's okay.
Exactly. So like I said, hence we moved to the other operator. It happened. We received. And there was not even a well done thereafter or something. But the well done for us is repeated flight.
Repeat business.
Yes, that is it.
Man, I actually love what you said there, because I kind of do this. I try to do the same thing. When I have an AOG situation, I don't tell the client, because you only have one mouth, two ears. So if you tell the client, now the client is panicking and you don't have a solution for them, they're going to keep calling you. But at the same time, you need to be calling all these operators trying to get the recovery and confirm availability and stuff. So I do the same. I would handle the AOG situation. I would find alternative options. Then I would go to the client and be like, okay, listen, we have an AOG situation. I know it's not new to you. You've been there before, but here's a solution for you, you know? And and as you said, that's why you have repeat business with that client.
You know, the clients with you came to you because they couldn't fix it themselves. If they could get themselves an aircraft, probably if they have the time to do that, they will do it. But they needed you to do it so that they can do other things.
Right.
So you going back to them that you can't do your job, it's really, it's strictly unprofessional.
True.
Yeah.
So we receive hundreds of requests every day, right and left, whether it's a flight, whether it's gold, whether it's cargo, Medevac. So how do you qualify these requests? How do you validate them? What's your thought process when you receive a request and you start working on it? Because, we're not going to waste our time for nothing.
Of course, requests come in two ways. One from a repeated client. Of course, that has more than 50% of happening.
Right.
From a repeated client.
Okay.
If you get what I'm trying to say.
Perfect.
It has more than 50%, meaning if you get the right aircraft, they will go with you because they are not somebody in the wind that reached out. Then we have some generic requests that comes at you. Of course, you pick up the phone. For me, I pick up the phone. Even if you send email, whatever, WhatsApp, I converse with you.
Right.
Because, that alone will save me 30 minutes of going to the market to source you an aircraft. I converse to understand, okay, how best can we work on this together? What's the best solution you require? So from that's where I qualify everything. If it's the end user, easy for me. Then if it's another broker, we're working with another broker, okay, I try and see how we can work with this guy. Where did he get the request from? Blah, blah. Just to, make sure after spending 30 minutes of my time on that request, we get it together.
Right.
Because time is of the essence.
100%.
That doesn't mean we win it all, but I wouldn't enter a fight I know I wouldn't win. That is it, pretty much for me. Make sure I qualify it to be, okay, this is a kind of request that, okay, yes, we have more than 50% chance on, then we go for it.
Right.
So, like I said earlier, once I get a request, I jump on the call. Even if it's a repeated client, I jump on the call.
Right.
Yes, to understand.
Qualify, understand the needs. And that's the right way, actually, to provide them the best option.
Yes.
You're an advisor. You know what questions to ask. That way you can understand exactly what fits their need, what matches their requirements for that
Exactly. Flight. Otherwise, we're just a bot sending WhatsApp message, emails, and just responding. But if I get you over the phone, I understand what your needs are.
True.
And when I'm reviewing this request with you, we do it together actually. When I share you the code, we review it together still. I still jump on the call with you. Okay, does it work? No, it doesn't work. Okay, what's the next? Not like I'll just send it out and there's nothing. We are waiting 90 minutes, 1 hour. The time is wasted. Of
course.
Yeah, we could use those time to get more leads and we're wasting time.
More business and just keep going. Next flight. It's always next.
Exactly.
And so a lot of gold flights happen from Africa to around the world.
Yes.
And so how do you handle these requests? Because it's a little bit critical, especially with the paperwork and permits and things like that. What are your thoughts process on gold trips?
Gold trips for me, it's simple, just like every other flight. Yes, the commodities are scarce, of course. But, if we are handling human beings and we're taking care of them, how much more gold's commodity. But this comes with a lot of paperwork, comes with a lot of, authorization, comes with due diligence that has to be done because you're not just moving a normal human being. You have sometimes these commodities are even moving alone. Sometimes.
Yeah, of course.
Sometimes. So from the get-go, we try and qualify everything. And once we're doing our part, we make the end user understand that your part is the paperwork. We're gonna, it's quite stressful enough to get operator that's going to do this flight, because not
course.
every operators can handle this commodity.
Yep.
You know, they have rare precious methods that they can't not everybody wants to. They just say no outrightly.
Yeah.
So we have operators that can do this, and yours, the end user, is to get the paperwork intact, everything. You know, customs, everything, customs and everything that has to be done with the paperwork, get it all ready. Once we have this and we communicate this to the operator, then it can happen. Because we at times we have, we're ready to pay, just don't worry, give us a quote, we're ready to pay. No, it's much more than that. No, do you have the paperwork? Do you have the paperwork? Because you're going to pay. If you pay and you don't have the paperwork, this flight will happen and the operator will come back.
No, nobody's
You
going to refund
understand?
you.
So it's part of things we do to make sure we work with this and this client very well, to make sure everything is done. Just a bit of due diligence so that we don't waste each other's time. The max is to waste the end users' resources.
Right.
Yeah, and we don't want that to happen.
Yeah, man. Honestly, I would say we do private jet charters with golds and stuff. And I would say 1 out of 10 requests, or 1 out of 10 bookings actually, that happens and go through. The rest, they book, they pay, and unfortunately, they either cannot get the paperwork on time.
Exactly.
They cannot get the permits on time.
Exactly.
Some issue happened in the back end. And the thing is, as an operator, I'm already committed with you. I could have, because sometimes we get in the situation, the broker is like, yeah, refund the money. How can I refund the money? I booked the aircraft for you for these days for that flight.
Exactly.
And I refused and I rejected trips that could provide me revenue. I totally understand your
From
concerns
a
and
yeah.
where you're coming from, but also understand that we have losses as well on our end. But it is, but again, this is part of the industry. This is part of the operation that we deal with.
Talking about gold, actually, there's this particular request, not gold. It's a bit like a rare. It's I think it's pearl or so, diamond thereabouts.
Interesting. Never done diamonds. Okay.
So they are coming to the UAE. We got a request from Africa. They're coming to the UAE. We have it postponed now because the paperwork is not ready.
Okay.
Yes, that is it. Let's postpone it. You know, I discussed with them. They are ready to move. It's the end user. This is not the brokerage fight, but it's not gonna happen. And Caleb, can you assist with custom? I can, but it's beyond me. This is
Government.
This government.
Right.
Get it right, and I'm here, all ready for you. There's aircraft. We can help you. If you need more, we can help you. But your paperwork, please get it right.
Of course.
Please get it right.
Otherwise, we cannot do anything about it.
Otherwise, you get here. I don't know what happens. Maybe they get arrested or something. I don't know. So that's it.
It happened as well.
Yes.
Yeah, the thing is, end clients, sometimes they don't understand operation side. So the broker, it's their job to educate the client, because the client is like,
100%.
refund me the money. You guys did not fly. Again, yes, we did not fly, but we rejected revenue. There were some trips that we could have booked that could have generated revenue. We still paid for the hotels. We still paid for the cruise. We still paid for per diem. We still paid for the parking of the aircraft, for the hangar. We still had these expenses to go.
Who's going to pay for it?
Somebody's going to pay for it,
But hence, why we need to educate them before it happens.
There you go.
You go. That is the proactiveness. Envisage what is going to happen. Look for ways things could go bad. Not trying to be a prophet of doom or something. No, that is not it. That is, really education. More especially when it comes to flight that has like a bit of special mission, not every day-to-day, not day-to-day vacation or normal trip. Trips like that, they need a lot of missions. Yeah, that's it. So you have to, once you have a request like that, or you're moving a diplomatic kind of movement, it's government, high government, we have to make sure, okay, all of them on board, as they put it, they have their diplomatic passport. Not that they get in, one cannot enter because the kind of passport they have is different. Just an ordinary passport. We have that issue before.
What issue?
It took they came into the country.
Okay.
We got a flight for them. Then they brought somebody on board. There were supposed to be 3 diplomatic personnel. and they brought somebody that had the ordinary passport with them. And it couldn't work because they needed the visas.
Of course.
So it was quite unfortunate that they had to, the last guy had to be deported. So that's it, I don't know.
Yeah, the thing is, we come to you with a last minute update on the passenger on the manifest list or the passengers that's going to be on board, and then you run into these political issues.
The thing is to be a kind of help for them that will take care of everything from A to Z. Like I said earlier, don't just book the flight and go sleep. No. Ask questions. My clients, even in the company, I follow up from the get-go, from the morning of the flight. Prior to the flight, sending them the manifest, ask them, okay, when are you going to be at the airport? All these things we take care of. Okay, what time? These are the time you have to be there. When you get there, how many people are there? Even before they leave, how many people? In case somebody's coming or somebody is dropping behind, we have to be aware of all this. Because when things goes beyond control, it can really get escalated. And there's no way to help them at that time. So we try and advise them, more especially when it's an international flight.
Of course.
We try and advise them very well, more especially for first-time flyer. Yes, that happens.
Oh, really?
Yes, that happens.
Okay.
They believe it's a private jet. They can
do whatever they want. They can fly whenever they want, whatever time they want.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of restrictions, whether it's airport closures, whether ATC.
That is there. You can't do some certain flight to Europe at some to a particular airport that they have to close. They're sunset. They're closing.
Right.
So you have to leave earlier.
Yeah, if we don't leave now, it's gonna be next day, or maybe not even next day, because the operator has other trips.
Exactly. No, thanks to our operators out there, there are some that are understanding.
Right.
There are some that, because we tend to work with them a lot, they give us these lanes, they work with us, they can accommodate. However, we try not to stress, try not to use up the grace they give. So hence we have to be proactive when it comes to these things.
Yeah, I mean, it's a relationship business. Literally, I was talking today to one person I know, and he was telling me, like, these are your competitors, the other operators, these are your competitors. I was like, honestly, not really, because they are our competitors, but at the same time, how many times I had an AOG situation and I covered with them, and they were able, for example, sometimes, for example, we take risks and we sell at lower price.
Yeah.
And if we sell at lower price and then we have an AOG, we cannot find a recovery at that same price. But the relationship that I have with the other operators, even though we're in the same country, we're operating the same kind of aircrafts, but this relationship, I'm like, man, listen, I booked this at this price. It was for me to book to win the business. I have an AOG. And most of the time, this camaraderie in the industry where they're like, oh, you have an AOG? Let me talk to the aircraft owner. And then it come back to me. He's like, you know what? Yeah, I'll match that price for you. You don't lose anything. And this is the relationship that you build in the industry.
Yes.
And as you said, also when you book with a certain operator, when you push business to them, the other way goes around. When you need them, they will come back to you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We tend to, it's purely relationship business. It's more than the money aspect of it. We do flights, we connect with them. When they are not doing business, we know, okay, what's happening?
Right.
What's happening? How can we help them? Because that is why we are there. That's why we're brokers,
right,
to assist them. And when things are really, there are times they are really busy, they try to accommodate us as well. That is it. They try to, when they, it's peak period, and they try to accommodate us, times like that. That is how it works.
I'll tell you a trick I do, okay? So, sometimes clients, they shop around, right? But I worked with many brokers, and I have favorite brokers where they send me good business, we have good relationship, they're humble, respectful, and things like that. So when I see the request in the market and I see one of the brokers that I have good relationship with, I'll actually quote the other brokers a little bit higher. That way, and I call them, I'm like, yo, I gave you the price and it's been shopped around, and I gave you a price cheaper than everybody. Let's close it together. And this kind of relationship, next time he has a flight, he comes to me directly, not because I gave him a better price, but because I supported him on that trip. They want to push more business to me. And, And I love it. And we keep growing together, all of us. Let's go.
That's how it should be, man. That is how it should be.
Yeah, brother. So we were talking about private jet charter. I know Jet Connect, you guys do aircraft sales, aircraft leasing. Please tell me more about what do you guys do here, this industry.
Yeah, just like our name depicts, we connect the end user to the operator. Jet Connect is pretty straightforward.
Okay.
And we do, when it comes to charter, on-demand charter, we do that. Leases as well, either wet lease or dry lease. We could, that time for the wet lease, it works with end user, directly.
Right.
Maybe they have a request that's going to happen soon, in Nigeria. They need this aircraft for a particular period of time. They are not operators. They don't have AOC, but they need the aircraft because they feel it's going to be cheaper than just doing one-off charter because they have to do a high volume of flight for that period of time. So we got this covered, strictly wet lease. And when it comes to, sometimes the operators, they need help. And we have a lot of operators. We have a lot of operators that we work with internationally. We could also assist and in this regard. And when it comes to also acquisition, is part of our forte also. We have teams that handle this. They are really good at it. And they're really good at it. And all requests are welcome. And we handle them professionally.
Of course.
Yes.
Well done. Well done. Yeah. So honestly, for me, I love dry leases. First of all, they're usually longer term. So it's usually like 3, 4, 5 years. While ACMI, it's more in a shorter term, 6 months, 1 year. And in these deals, I try to structure it in a way where I have a monthly commission instead of just a finder fee. So for example, let's say if it's an hour based, they say the hour is 4,500. I'll add just about 200 there.
Okay.
And on 50 hours a month, there you go. You got the commission, the monthly commission. And
consistent.
And for example, when it's a flat rate, on a monthly flat rate, I will just add a flat fee on top of it. And that's just a monthly revenue coming in. You have that deal working, you have the commission going on while you're working on other deals as well. So salute to dry leases.
Yes, dry leases, wet leases, they have their peculiarity, like you mentioned them. However, leasing the market right now, it's on more of the seller side, more of the operator side because of the prolonged happening in the market, which is they're unable to get new aircraft. So the operator has to fall back on what we have presently. So hence they have to be repeated business of leasing as opposed to getting the newer aircraft.
Right.
So when it comes to short-term lease, it doesn't happen. We have clients that come and be like, I just need this for 3 months. No, sorry, we can't help. It's 6 months. The minimum we could do is 6 months. However, there are operators that are able to quote based on charter. It will be based on charter rate.
Right.
For this period. They can handle if they can the operators are able to release their aircraft because of course it's going to bring them revenue for that period of time. They understand the routes, they understand how which day and the position for it. It's almost the same, however, it could be on the high side, but that is the least they could do. So that's the only way we get that settled. Otherwise, you have to go for the long time, like you said.
Long-term
6 months,
leases.
5 years thereabout.
Right.
So that's it.
Yeah. So we deal with aircraft buyers. Sometimes they're rush, sometimes they're time sensitive. What do you think a common mistake, whether it's a first-time aircraft buyer or an aircraft buyer, do when they're buying an aircraft?
For the new aircraft buyer, they tend to think it's just the price, the asking price of the aircraft that is entailed, and they want to move from just chartering. They feel they can own it. Right. But of course, if you don't fly, you don't have a high volume trip, it's not advisable.
I agree.
It is not advisable.
I agree.
Because we've had instance before. That was before early days. I was working with this company, and we got the aircraft for this end user, and months down the line, the aircraft was parked. Yeah. Because of maintenance.
True.
Fee and all. because they rush to get the aircraft. But that is what we bring on board now. We try and educate those people. We try and let them see the cost, the aftermath of getting it. We first off, how much do you fly? We try and tell them. We try and educate them because there is operational cost.
Exactly.
There's operational cost once you have the aircraft. Depending for a Challenger 605 or Hawker thereabouts, depending on a particular region, but I'm sure for your Challenger 604, you have about 2.3 million to do annually on maintenance.
Right.
You have to do that. So until you are able to do this, you are ready to see this as an asset. It's not, buying an aircraft is not something you should just do out of excitement. Oh, I have the cash. Can you sustain it? So we try and vet them. We try and advise them. And once we're sure that they can, that is for a new buyer, we help them, we assist them. And as well for there are people that have more than 2-3 jets.
Right.
They are good at it.
Yeah, they know what they're doing.
Yes, they know what they are doing. However, depending on the mission they're getting it for. Some are acquiring it because they want to have an aviation outfit for themselves.
Right.
So their clients, their executive don't get stranded. Maybe because they travel, they still have another meeting. They can, the aircraft can work for them. That's for the corporate world. They understand. Then we get to advise them. Is it still going to be an international route, or you're just looking at a local route? Whereby you can just use instead of you buying a heavy jet,
you can do
ultra long range. You could just do a mid-size So we can advise them, and that is it.
Yeah, the thing is, there's a lot of education that goes behind, buying an aircraft for your client. As you said, direct operational costs, they are fixed costs. So even if you're not going to use the aircraft, you're still going to pay for a hangar or parking space. You're still going to pay for run-up checks just to keep the aircraft airworthy and things like that. And I always tell aircraft owners, it's like, I'll tell you something. So what I realized in this industry, or with dealing with ultra high net worth individuals, is that they trust their circle, and sometimes their circle, they don't know what they're doing. They don't know about aviation. Aviation, you need somebody specialized. That's why a broker for.
Exactly.
And they just keep listening to the person assigned to the aircraft who does not have aviation experience, and they end up losing money. Literally, I was talking to a guy today. He has a 601 that's been sitting in the hangar for like 4 months. I'm like, man, you don't know how much money we could be making. $500K a month on this plane, and you're just having it sitting there. It's it's your job. And I was talking to some guys as well on LinkedIn about it, and everybody just agreed. Like, sometimes the owners or the buyers, they think they're right, but then they don't understand what comes. Buying the aircraft is something, and then dealing with the expenses that comes after, it's another thing.
Which comes to it's like buying, like you said, and also the exit point thereabout. Right. But before then, they have to understand that, for instance, they could be on Part 135, where this aircraft can be managed for them. Right. While it's sitting there, they can make,
generate
revenue. If they don't, they don't fly a lot of time. That's another way out. The only time we will recommend Part 91 for an ultra high net worth for the client is when we know they are ready. They can. Because this is what happens when they get a aircraft, and it's happening. I was reading in the news that there are a lot of commercial aircraft. There are a lot of aircraft private jet that are doing charter now in Africa. Right. Yeah, it's happened all over the world. The grey market, they pushed into the grey market because they don't know when they were getting into it. They figured, they can happen, but no, it comes from the registration. Who advise? Which kind of registration do you want to do? From the get-go, we'll advise, if you can, the way out is Part 135, where we'll manage, you get an outfit that can manage this for you. When you're not available to fly, when you're not flying, the aircraft is flying.
Chartered out.
That is it. As opposed to pack it down.
And just pay for the crew and pay for all these expenses.
And when it's too much, ends, they want to push it out, and it's not good. True. It's not good because aside from when things go wrong, it's really bad.
Right.
You know, there are a lot of stories out there of, you know, chartering aircraft in the gray market, and something happens all of a sudden because of maintenance is not done well as it would have been done when it was a Part 135 aircraft. So one just have to be able to, you know, get this client to understand, sit them down from the get-go and work with them. Be an advisor to them than somebody that's selling.
Salesman.
Exactly. Be an advisor. That is the way I see it. Be an advisor, advice. I could sell you, we could sell, I could make commission, quick bucks.
Right.
I'd love to.
Of course, but
where's
the broker ethics in there, right?
Exactly. You know, whenever something wrong happens down the line, I figure when they are doing their checks, they're doing whatever they have to get what's wrong. I'm sure they will even get to the point that who was the broker that got this aircraft or something.
100%, man. Oh.
Where did they get it from? Who was in touch?
You got?
So I wouldn't want to put my foot into where I know I will get burned later.
Right.
So it's more than selling, it's more of relationship.
I agree.
Exactly.
I love it. I love it. So Caleb, we talked about the buyer side, and I want to talk a little bit more about the seller side, because like I get these sellers and he's like, I'm not going to sell this aircraft until I get $6.5 million on it. I'm like, but the market price is $5 million. You can ask for whatever asking price you want, but the market will dictate if it's going to sell or not. What are your thoughts about this? How do you deal with aircraft sellers?
You know, it's quite interesting because we do both sides.
Right.
It's quite interesting. When it comes to the seller, we believe that is the time, you know, we have to go down to the books. That is what never fails. You know, what will complement the market is how well those aircraft are taken care of.
Right.
You understand? If your aircraft, like you said, if this seller is saying is standing on 6 points, have you take care of your aircraft so much that it could, you know, it could get the value is that of 6.5.
Right.
Or you're being emotional on how much you buy.
That's the word.
You're feeling, I can't. It's like you're losing money. You know, hence how much you're taking care of your aircraft. If the aircraft are good, go to the book. The records won't lie.
Right.
You understand? There are some valuation that you do that the aircraft is actually higher than that.
Right. True.
You know, right?
True.
When you check the books, you check the maintenance log, you check everything, you see that, really? The check is not due. Yeah, exactly. And, you know, and you could, you know, there are arguments we make for them when it comes to you know, selling. It's quite trickish when you're on the buyer side. You understand, you can see from the seller point why he's standing there, and when you're on the seller side, you can see why he's standing there. They are, you know, two parties.
Dynamic.
You understand both. That is one thing. You understand both. However, depending on the side we're on, we're trying to be fair.
Of course.
That is it. We're trying to be fair. There are times we're on the seller side and we are still fair to the buyer. Right. Not at the detriment of the seller. We're just trying to make a win-win. However, because what kind of person are you going to be when you can advise, you know, you can play an advisory role that is really good at, that you're good at. So I would say the maintenance, like going back to your question, the maintenance won't lie. The books won't lie. The book never lie.
Never lie.
So if you want 6.5, that is what will be the judge. We'll go there if it's worth that. Otherwise, because I don't want to be the unprofessional one. When the broker and the buyer side comes and be like, we reviewed this, our team reviewed this. Sorry, the market. This is what's gonna. This is the time. This is the time remaining for this aircraft. This is the time on the engines. Sorry.
Yeah.
The aircraft is just going to sit there. In most cases, till it keeps depreciating. Right. Until you do the right thing, which is go by the book. How much value is it worth? Right. Then let it go based on that. That is it. That is it.
And I'll add to that. They will sometimes they will ask for a price. You know it's not reasonable. We advise them, listen, we did the pre-purchase inspection and this is what came through. I don't believe that that's the value of the aircraft, and they're stuck on it, on the price. And then you see the aircraft has been in the market for 35 days, 55 days.
Even longer.
3 months, 6 months. And at this point, everybody knows why the aircraft's not being sold. There has to be a problem with it. And now you burned your card. Nobody wants to buy the plane, and you have a plane sitting there's just depreciation and even costing money just to keep it airworthy. But this is the industry. This is the people you deal. It's just as you said, as an advisor, this is your role, and play it right.
If you don't want to be frustrated, just go based on that. That is just it. Because, whenever the inspection happens, major part of it is to get the finding for the buyer side.
Right.
Get the findings. At the end of the findings, how soon can it be closed? However, if the client, the seller side is not willing to keep up with the time, and it keeps staying longer and longer and longer and longer. I had a deal before, I think that was 2 years ago. 2 years ago, they went for the inspection, and the seller said they were gonna fix the findings. They were gonna fix about three of it thereabout. They're gonna fix, and they have to. So that he's trying to just stay on the asking price, but it didn't happen. I don't know what happened down the line. We waited months and months. There was no fixing. There was this. There was no fixing. There was nothing. At the end, we have to recoup back the money from escrow.
Right.
Because there was no sale.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to freeze the money out there like that.
Yeah, we were there waiting. The seller keep going by. Maybe because it was a major finding.
Right.
Yeah, that is it. It's going to cost a couple of bucks. So, but it was there for months. I don't know. I'm not following it again. Though.
Right.
So it doesn't look like I'm stuck in. But it was there longer for 9 months thereabouts. There was nothing done on it.
Yeah, I actually sometimes reject. So I'm speaking to aircraft owners. They're like, I want to sell it. I'll give you exclusivity on selling the aircraft. And for example, I ask for what's his asking price, and I see how are they willing to negotiate. If their asking price is high, I wouldn't even waste my time, because first of all, you're going to waste resources. You're going to waste money on trying to get this plane on the marketplaces. You're going to be receiving calls, sending specs, handling with the showing and the pre-buy inspections and things like that. And then if I know it's not like the price is too high, just sometimes you got to say no to business.
Quick way out. That is it. That is the best.
Right.
Still based on relationship. You still have to, once somebody is not ready to, communicate, it's your asset.
Right.
You have to be able to, that's it. You don't, or there's somebody that's willing to give us more information, ready to pick up the phone whenever we call. We understand that these ultra networks are really busy. They are not there selling they are not out there to sell aircraft. That is not,
right. That's not their job.
That's not their job.
That's your role, correct?
You understand? That's your role. However, there has to be, some point where we get there, whenever they make the decision, where we get there, they have to understand all this. We have to be able to, be there to walk them through it. And at the end, we close it. And that's the beautiful part of it. Buyer receives it, seller is happy. That's
delivered, aircraft delivered, and it's...
And it keeps still flying. That is the beautiful part of it.
Right.
That is it.
Beautiful, man. So in your thoughts, what skills a broker need to have to succeed in the private aviation industry, whether it's aircraft charter or aircraft sales?
One word: to upskill.
Okay.
It's a fast-paced world. And I was sharing an example of when I started, how it used to be very stressful, chasing once a month and once in like 3 months and all. Just be, whatever you want to do, put professionalism into it.
Okay.
The market want to make it unprofessional. They want to do, but try to, that's the only way to succeed in this business, to be, strictly professional. That is it.
Right.
Just be professional. Be good at it. Try, it comes with time.
Of course.
Yeah, it comes with time. It's a time game. It's always a time game. You once you put your heart to it, just like I said, self-taught.
Right. Doing
courses here and there. However, try to be on the, build up your professionalism. Make sure you're a professional at it. That is just what I would say to, people that want to join. It's really an interesting world.
Right.
And be cut out for that. I've met friends that say they want to do it, and 4 months down the line, no, I'm going. I'm going. But if you do what is right, you're gonna stay there long enough. Yeah. That is it. Long enough if you're doing what is right, which is trying to be professional.
True. I'll add one thing to that as well, is make connections. Make
Oh,
connections as
yeah.
much as possible. Network.
Yeah.
Get to know people. Like we have these brokers that join IABI and they graduate, and I'm like, listen, get involved. You see, operator is pushing a fleet. Just text him. What's your fleet? Where are you
Yeah,
based at?
exactly.
Just start a conversation. You will hear some things you don't know. And eventually you'll start building your database. You see a broker requesting a flight or requesting a permit support and permits and stuff. I just go back to them like, hey, were you able to get the permits? Yeah, oh, no, I couldn't get the permits. I needed 48 hours. Now I know this country to go to, like I need 48 hours to get
Exactly.
permit. And you know, the thing is, and then later on, when I see something that we can work together on a flight or something, and I go back to the operator or the broker, I see that we actually spoke in the past before. We spoke together, and there is this already the connection
Exactly.
there. And let's just work together.
Yeah. Growing network, like you rightly said, growing network cannot be, undermined. You have to be, because your network is your assets. That is it. That when it comes to the brokerage world, if you don't know anybody, you can't do anything.
You're nobody.
You can't do, because that is it. You must be able to know, who's able to do this flight, which aircraft they have.
Right.
Imagine talking to an operator that operates only wide body,
right,
for a private jet.
You're
wasting your time. So you have to be able to know all those things.
Right.
And at the end, it sums up to something: being professional. That is it.
There you go, brother. Well, first of all, I would really, really thank you for coming on the podcast. I'm sure a lot of people learned from it.
You're welcome. And I did also.
Of course, no, man, we always learn. And guys out there, if anybody needs help in Africa, Middle East, Caleb got you.
Sure. We look forward to having your request.
Thank
Any
you.
day, anytime.
Thank you, my man. If you have listened through to the end, you already know this industry rewards those who learn it properly. For deeper insights into private aviation and aircraft brokerage, visit IABI.aero and request a free consultation. And if you found this episode valuable, please share it with your friends and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. This is the Jet Podcast.